Hello, in this video we continue exploring the Plant Factory 2024, and specifically I want to look on these properties: age, season, health. You notice inside the Plant Factory we can create plants that are not static, that they can change with age, like growing. They also change maybe leaves, flowers with seasons, and also health of the plant may affect it. Of course, we have more input nodes, and for this, if we right click and go to input, you'll notice we also have positioning, normals, time, and so other properties. Those ones we won't cover in this video. So let's go ahead and start working with what we have right here: age, root, season, and health. Root is our basic place where we're going to locate a root for our plant. Well, we're going to take and create the advanced node just as example, and we're going to connect. Let's go zoom a little bit out to preview, and right here you can see we have our trunk or maybe stem for the plant, whatever you're going to do. Again, I'm not necessarily going to build fully plant. I will show you how to connect, and in next videos when we go work on full projects, then we'll use it what we learned right now and implement in what we're doing, because sometimes explanation may take a little bit longer. Okay, and then next what I want to do in this case, because we have our trunk, let's see what first we can do, and we can modify the age. Age is easy to see if we apply, well, let's say to the grow, to the size or link. And right here you can see we have a link of the 10, and we can modify, we can go grow up and taller just by sliding. So we can apply same things by controlling of the age. Let's look on this age, what we have it. If we go inside setup tab, you'll notice the age right now is disabled, but it's going from 1 till 10. Well, I'm going to expand a little bit, going on a segment, and right here link, and we'll just go, let's connect for now. This is pure numeric value connection. And if we go to setup, we can see it says 10, and as we're increasing, look, it's increasing link as well. So what is maximum age? You can specify inside. It says currently 20. So for the plants, maybe if you have an older plant or something, you can modify what age of your plant can be. Just for now, we leave it as a 20. So it's meaning if we're going to link directly, our plant can be a maximum 20 meters long. Of course, we can add some randomizations, but we won't do this right now. So let's go straight, and you can see we can go down to 5, and now it's 5. And it's kind of fun, to do this way. But what's happening in cases, you maybe want to modify, you maybe want to take those age and constraint to a specific amount without modifying direct connect. And usually I try to avoid directly connect like from age to link, because you maybe want to do some other stuff there. You maybe want to plant grow fast enough to start going slower, kind of different ability. So a best way to do this is using as a beginning map. So what map help us, it is says take this value minimum and maximum and map from this range to our range what we wanted. So to do this, let's go inside our select filters, and the filters right here you have two maps, smooth and map. Map is just like almost switching. Smooth have a little bit flexibility, doesn't matter which one you're using. We can for simplicity just using map right now, and you notice right here we have a lower and upper value and output lower in value. So for example, if I take age and connect to our map, inside the map, I'll say lower. We have a 0. So it's what plant just lower. And maximum, we have a 20. But I want to map them in maybe from 0. Well, I don't like 0. Maybe from 0.1, just something, there. So exist from 0.1 to 10 meters. Okay, let's check. So we'll go lower value right here, 0.1. And we'll just put it map to the 10. Okay, next let's take this and connect to our link. Look, it's already changed. So now if I go to setup and I'm going all the way to the 20, it's going maximum to the 10. So right now, and you can see how it's changed. We modified how our plant is changing. We can also to do similar things, for example, with a radius to make it thicker or thinner. So let's go do the same. We'll just go copy and paste the same map. Inside the map, we're going to, what is our lower value? Probably maybe 0.5. Let's go like thinner. And we'll have it, the link radius, maybe 2 meters around there. And we can go ahead and connect this to the radius. Okay. Also, let's go ahead in our advance. And I want also just to have it where we have it. Notice right here we connect and it says radius is connected. And let's go minimum radius. Yeah, just leave it like this. And we'll take our age setup. And we're going to our smaller and bigger. Well, if you notice, it's growing, but radius does not change. And a reason because if by default, if we go in properties, it says radius mode inherit. So let's go switch this to user define. And as we're switching to user define, this should change now. So we can go bigger and smaller. And you can see how the radius also is increasing. Well, it's maybe a little bit too big a radius. So normally what I do, I go to the maximum value. Next, we can go inside the map and we can change here to maybe 1 like this. So that is look a little bit better. Okay, so far we modify with our age, we modify radius and length for our trunk. We could also take similar things approach and modify other properties that may grow in a time, like maybe size of the roots expanding or amount of branches is growing. So you can see how it is connecting to this, to that. Well, speak about branches. So let's say in this, I want to add leaves. For this, let's go ahead. And again, I'm just creating simple advanced nodes, those segments. So we can also create as a leaves and other things. Treat this as example, showing you concept what we can do. And same what we're going to do in our future project when we actually start building and connect everything together. So for this, we're going to create new segment and we're connecting this new segment to our child. Let's also expand so we have to see all properties that we have. And notice right here, we do have those segments now appear for us. You know what we want to do is add maybe them to the season. For example, you know what, let's very fast create the leaves. I think that will be kind of cool. So I'm going in my segment. Let's go look right here. We have our meshing, materials, blades. Let's add some blades to this. And let's take maybe radius. And we'll just make it a little bit smaller, like here. A little bit on this, and right here, decreasing top. So kind of, you know, just very fast creating something that look like leaves. Well, kind of give it us some idea what it is going on. Let's go next look on the seasons what we have. And if we click on a setup now, you'll notice seasons we have winter, spring, summer, fall, and winter. And notice this is actually in percent showing us 25%, 75%. But if we work with numeric values from 0 to 1, that is will represent 10%. It will be 0.10, 15, 0.15, and so on. So when we start mapping, we need to keep this in mind. Well, for this, let's go create different map. And I'm going just, create smooth map. So it's not that big different. The smooth map, just a little bit transfer H. So we'll just say either one will work. Next, let's go connect our smooth map here. And remember what I said before, if we look on the seasons and notice 225. So inside there, let's switch to the ranges we want to use it. So our lower value, what do we want to do? Because leaves kind of need to grow a little bit. I think just for example, you can put it 0.1, whatever, teeny tiny. I'll just put it 3 as a lowest so we can preview. And highest, let's go 6. Again, these arbitrary numbers just to help us. But what we need to do, it is this lower value is we need to adjust. Remember, it says it is like 0 point something. So if we look and we go take our spring and we see, okay, it's about 25%. Because it's quarter, yeah, 4 seasons, quarter 25. So in 25 seasons, I want it switched. So I want to put it here, 0.25. Well, right now what's happening, if I take this and connect to my link of the segment, let's go, just go right there. You can see how they change. And if we go to setup, and as we're going, look, it's growing, yes. And if we go to winter, notice in winter in 25, they don't change because map is sets this. It does not trigger, yes. And if we're going like all winter, leaves not changing, does not growing. Well, you can also set 0 so they don't even appear at that time. But as we're going to spring, they pop up and start growing. Well, the problem is right here, we see they're still growing till fall. They're growing all the way, but usually they grow till like midsummer, maybe. In this case, I will say 60% maybe. So in this case, if we're going back to our smooth, we can change here to 0.60. What is happening in this case? If we're going and switch up, look, they did not grow up. They come to the spring, they start growing to what we needed. They stop growing, and it's done. This is kind of very nice because this way we can say, in the spring, leaves come, they're growing very big, and they stop growing during summer. And again, in the fall and winter, they will disappear. Well, that is kind of cool how the smooth work everything. But you know what? I think we can do even more interesting way. What if I want to, for example, change color on them or just appear or every other things? I will show another way we can increase a little bit complexity, but at the same time provide flexibility so we can implement a different way to do this. For example, you have it flowers, and from flower at one time you want them to turn to the fruit. So in this case, we actually use it switch and switch from one to another, objects, texture, or numbers. So let's go ahead and try to use it switches here and see how they can work for us. For this, we're going to add some input selector. So let's go right click, going to our combiners right here, and we have it our input selector. Well, input selector sometimes is very hard to understand how it's work. I'll show you easiest way to just help you work maybe with different also inputs to understand how they perform. So for this, let's go ahead, right click, we go to the constant, and we'll just add numeric constant here. I'm going to copy and create 3 numeric constants. Okay, the one will be, let's go set this 0. We'll go set this to the 10 minimum maximum value, and this one will be our control. So we can actually even rename. That will be our control, and control will go to selector. Maybe selector. There will be same name to go. What's happening with selector? Select as value is changed, it can switch. But it's cool things because if you have more than 2 inputs, and you can see the selector of the number can change and switch between them. So technically, you can also apply this to your seasons, and then selector can switch from different inputs and create different colors based on the seasons. But for now, we'll just go with the simplicity. Right here, we have it 0, and we're going to select input 1. We'll go 0. Notice as I add more inputs, and 10. Next, let's go take this output and just replace our link. Well, currently it's a 0 because if you look on our first constant, it's a 0. If I'm going and put like 10, it's a 10, and now we have a 10. So definitely it is work with the first value. Well, when does it change? If I'm going to put it 0.5, you can see it disappear. So we can go and kind of play with the value when it's changing. Well, let's go try maybe put a different value. So for example, if I put a 0.1 value, it switch on 1. So because it's going from 0 to 1, 0.5 is our minimum. If we add the third node, then it will be 0.3 when it switch from one to another. It will be in a range of the from 0 to 1. Hopefully it's make any sense, but it is, if you have a 2 nodes and we take 1 divide in half, it will be 0.5. It's a switch help. When it's got 3 nodes, divide by 3, approximately 0.33. It's when the switch happen, and so on. Well, for now, we'll just keep it 2 of them. Well, next, because we have it here, switch and selector, we want to add this control so we can have it our seasons controlled and switch it between those selection for now. Well, we already have it here, smooth map. Let's just reuse for now, but we'll probably need another ones. Well, I'm going to connect this to the selector. And of course, it does not necessarily work instantly because in our map, we have it lower in value, a little bit different. Well, if our low value for our seasons, let's go look on our seasons, what do we have here? We have it, you remember, fall, we'll go fall right here, about 27, yes, around there. So what do we want to do? It's modify a little bit of these parameters. Let's go say a low value of input. We can say 0.5, same like before, or if you want to start a little bit early, just 1.7, just put it this way. So the next, because we're doing the changes, we need also apply those change values. But you see how problem here can be. Even we take smooth map and we'll start apply, we still have those values to play around. But you know what? Besides smooth map, it's have a better way to do this. And instead changing these values, what we need to do is have it threshold. Threshold will help us to make properly switch on the values. So let's go ahead and we'll go right click. Let's go to our, and we have it smooth and same threshold. We'll just take normal threshold. Let's take from seasons, connect here. And for now, I'm just disconnecting because we will use it. And threshold, we're going to take and connect to our selector. Okay. So now inside the threshold, again, 0.25 when it's happening. And our lower value, it will be 0. It's what we wanted to remember on the threshold. We want 0. And we want also go and select when is the threshold happen. And threshold needs switches from one value to different. So if I go and it says here 0, it will be our lower value, and 1 is high value. So it's just a kind of going very fast. Instead of putting 0.5, it's automatically going there. You can set multiple different thresholds, which is kind of nice, base it on the threshold values. So you remember how I said you can have it different inputs. So with threshold, you actually can set them to have a different for our supply. So I'm going just threshold, connect here, and let's go right now. We'll go to setup and we'll take our value to 0. They disappear and then they appear. Well, of course, we a little bit removed our grow, what we done before, and we can apply this to instead our constant. So where we have our smooth here, what we applied, we can take again to our seasons, and now instead this we can apply to our constant on maximum. Well, it's have some idea. It's a sense why we're doing this, and I will explain you just in a second. Let's first verify what we have here. Okay, so we can do going in our setup, and let's go winter. We don't have anything. It's pop up, and look, it start growing, And as we was planning, it stopped growing when it's summer. Well, it's look similar what was happening before. Seems like smooth map just made doing this for us. Well, here's what different. Notice we have here is different constant in different input. So we could technically take it and put it a different grow time. We can adjust to different elements and grow. Beside this, currently, this is attached to the link of our plants. Instead, we can easy going and use its selector for connecting, for example, different forms to the nodes. We can have it connect, enable flowers, and after with threshold and everything, they can come up with fruits or change other things. Well, this is one way to do. And you know what? Let's look what else we have here. And we have our health. And a health is what will connect. And with damage change, for example, it's maybe thriving, it's maybe kind of dying, do all this stuff. And by the way, let's look what we input right here. And yeah, we have it our maturity. To be different from age, we have it season, health. Well, yeah, we do have it our health right there already done. We don't need two healths, one is enough. Okay, let's go connect to our leaves. And I want keep it same mechanics what we have right here. So the leaves growing with season, everything. What I want to do, if the poor health, they should be a little bit smaller, yes? And maybe in the future we even can take same values of this from health and assign to curling, so the leaves maybe even curl for us this way. And we know we can do with the mapping. Yes, we can adjust those values and just map it, but we needed control and set them. And how also we can affect, for example, right here, we already have it link that is affecting by the age or a season. So we needed to affect that link additionally with our health. Well, in this case, we'll start using some math nodes. Well, let me show you what I was meaning. Right here, if you look, if you see, we have it our smooth node, which already provide output values, 3 and 6. What if for the health, we somehow can modify those values? Or for example, what if we can modify the input values, because input map directly to the output? What if we can take some of those values and just change them slightly, or change output slightly, so we can figure out this? Well, let's go do this. We'll have it our smooth node, and for this again, we'll right click, going to our filters. Let's go take smooth map, and now we're going to map to health to our smooth map. I'm going to look on setup, and I see on our health it's from 0 to 100%. Again, we're going from as a numeric from 0 to 1, so between those values. Well, now inside here we want going and kind of adjust maybe a little bit some numeric. So let's say we have our value 0, it's mean not healthy, and 1 is very healthy. To work with two of them, for example, input, the easiest way will take this number, what we have at output 3 and 6, and maybe dividing by some number so we can reduce. For this, we want to use our math divide. So let's go right click. We're going to math, and right here we have a divide. Well, now we have two inputs. We have one numeric, and we have a denominator right there. We can connect, and divisions for now is going to input 2. Well, if we know what we have at 3 and 2, but inside here we have it -1 and 1. We don't want necessarily use this one. Well, the interesting thing is because a lower and upper value, it doesn't mean it's lower must be below higher value. This is just a range. And we can easily just go and put this range different in a plus. For example, if we have an upper value 1, and if we divide number by 1, it's the same number in the end. But if we want to increase more divide, we need to put it, for example, like 2. So, and if we put a 2 here, and I will go and set up and use it in the health, you can see how they're actually changing. Well, sometimes you don't necessarily need to put it 2 inside. We can also going and put a number like, for example, 1.2 if you don't want to have it too heavy influence. So just a little bit smaller. And as we're doing this, you can see at this time our health 100% and see the slightly decreasing and dying. Well, the same things we can also increase in our leaves. If we're going to look, we have it, for example, blade width, and currently blade width is 1. So we can see how we can reduce. Well, again, this is helping us with the maps, because if we know what value we have it, what input we have it between these, we know what value we can map it. So as this control, as we're creating this area, well, and let me delete those, we don't need this. As we have it, this area right here, those guys, and they control for us with combinations of the sizing. And our sizing, for example, if we look here, it's coming from 3 to 6 plus deviation. So based on this, we can also going and modify width and other stuff. Well, let's do instead, say, let's do this. So we're going here, filter, going on a smooth map, and we'll take output here. And you don't need to be precise. You can be just around that range. That will be just fine. And our range 3 to 6. Of course, if deviations happen, it will be still playing around. And our output, if we look on our advanced segment, let's go right here, parameters. Okay, and if we look here, it is 1. It is all the way. And okay, we have it with 1. And I will say maybe 0.5. I think maybe work 0.5. Let's go say the lower value, 0.5, and higher value 1. So then we can go and connect this to our area. Okay, where's my blades? Right here, my blade. So let's expand. Oh, I don't want these blades. Sometimes we need kind of find where we have it. There you go. There's my blades and there's my width. So we just go connect them right here. Well, let's see what's happening. And I know already one problem we will have, because if we're going to starting, you can see the shrinking this way. Okay, but it's working. But what's happening if we're going and reduce like winter? You can see the width is work. Width is not necessarily bad, but if you need it to do otherwise, you'll need it connect from the health, from the mapping to the health into the smooth without passing additional of the seasoning. So that maybe as well you want to do verify with the width on our leaves. Well, let me check other things. So we done this. It's kind of look cool. Let's go to advanced here. Well, if we look in transformations, we also have, okay, our transformation. I'm just looking influences, and if we have it perforations, ooh, look at this, beautiful. So we can also modify slightly perforations. And we can look what is maximum you want to do, because you don't want to have it too high. So you maybe want to have it like from 0 to 0.3. Again, we'll connect here. And this one will have it from 0 to 0.3. Well, our input on this case, we don't want to connect directly, remember, to this selector, because I don't want this link to the seasons and other stuff. Yes, I want this link directly to health. So we're going and connect these directly to the health, our map. And inside, because we connect to our health, we have it, we need the inverse. So because 0 and upper value 1. And I'll show you why we need to inverse. So let's go take this and going inside influence, X perforations right there. And we'll just go connect this to the string. Okay, Well, let's see what's happening here. Look, if we're going dying, it's normal, and thriving, they're all squiggly. Because as we add our smoothing map here, we need to inverse this. So if it's 0 value, and you can also just inverse inside on top here as well. That will work as well differently. But usually I like to just keep it same way and just put it here, maybe 0.3 and 0 here. So in this way, just map it, leave it for me kind of more top and bottom. Okay, well, upper value should put it 1. There you go. Okay, let's go ahead now, try hiring. You see they're shrinking and it become kind of ugly looking, and when it's thriving, they're nice and all this stuff. So you can see we can take a lot of different those elements and combine them together. You don't need it create smooth map for everything. You remember I showed you before with deviations. You can also utilize specific deviations or maybe subtractions or other math operators to work properly with this. Well, this is kind of principle. It's what we're going to do, because we will work more with the colors, with the shapes, but technically to control those parameters from the season, age, and health and other things, we're going to utilize thresholds. We will utilize the switches, maps. So all of this is what will help us to control. Well, thank you for watching this video. Hopefully it's give you some little bit of understanding how the age and the seasons and health work inside the plant factory, how you can connect them. And in the next videos, we're going to work more on our projects and see how we can implement this directly to some modeling of the plants inside the plant factory 2024. Thank you for watching and have a